Hello and welcome to Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
Oh, lovely.
And welcome to the third and final of the 60th Doctor Who anniversary specials. I said that backwards, but whatever. It's called The Giggle.
This is my favorite one of the trilogy of specials for a multitude of reasons.
Hmm. So this one begins with the creation of television, which happened, I don't know when. I didn't bother to look it up, but...
I want to say it was the 1960s, maybe? Because I think the radio was invented. No, it was the 40s, because the radio was invented in the 1800s, so the television had to be invented in the early 1900s. And it happened in Scotland, I believe.
um,
Scotland forever!
and so it shows
Like
somebody
Irish.
going to buy a... what do you call it?
Doll.
A doll.
Ventriloquist.
Yeah. A ventriloquist, yes, thank you,
Ventriloquist dummy.
ventriloquist dummy called Stooky Bill from a
Ugh.
German toy owner.
Played by the American, homosexual, talented, amazing Neil Patrick Harris.
Why did you say homosexual?
Well, he is. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
know he is, but what does that matter?
It doesn't. I just want. I don't know. I feel like people should be more aware of LGBTQ actors in the world.
I think they're aware of him. But yeah, he plays.
If they're not, they should be.
He plays the toy shop owner who sells him the Stooky Bill doll, and he's German, which is an
Stooky
interesting
Bill.
choice.
I
I love that line he had about the horse at the clippy clop. And
because he's playing a character called the Celestial Toymaker who hasn't been seen since old original Who, which is interesting.
well, yeah, I was gonna save that for the reveal, bro. But
Whatever.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, he's
No one
playing the
watches our shit.
Toymaker.
Right?
So he has this kind of laugh that is kind of hypnotic and also annoying, like which you hear him do repeatedly throughout the special. And in present time, we catch up with the Doctor, Donna, and Wilf witnessing the breakdown of social order, and they go to where else? Unit HQ, which they got a big Avengers tower now.
Woohoo! I love Unit. That's one of the reasons why this episode is my favorite, because I love it when Unit pops up. Because Kate Lethbridge Stewart is fucking awesome.
She is, and when the Doctor addressed her, Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and she starts walking up, I thought she was gonna slap him in the face. She just straight up hugged him. Like, I really need your help, Doctor. And so everybody thinks they're right and are acting like barbaric animals. Why? That remains to be seen. But everyone at Unit is not, because they have these things on them these little bracelets that keep their brain waves
Inhibitors,
kind
basically.
of inhibitors. Yeah. And the reason that Donna and Wilf and some others haven't been affected is because of the time displacement of the TARDIS, because it wouldn't be able to place them that way. And also we meet up with an old companion from the classic days, the sixth Doctor companion by the name of Mel.
And isn't she a redhead? And Donna's just like, oh, it was the first one.
Weren't the last either.
That's true.
So they determined that what's making them do this is I don't remember how exactly it works, but like basically it's because of the old Stooky Bill footage from like way back when television was first invented. The arpeggio of that laugh is hypnotic and is making them act that way. And
You've mastered the arpeggio.
And so the Doctor and Donna go back to that time period to try to find something out of the ordinary, and the Doctor finds the toy maker, and he's so frightened by this. He tries telling the Donna to go back to the TARDIS, and she's like, "You never tell me to do that." It's like, oh, but he is recognizing me. And yeah, as soon as they get in there, it's all chaotic and shit. Like, the laws of physics aren't applying, which pisses off the Doctor. Like, everything I cling to is just thrown out the window. And at one point, the Doctor and Donna get separated again. The Doctor ends up in this room where that guy from before who bought the doll, his head is on a marionette puppet's head, a body. He's like, you won't let me stop. Like, I need you to help me, Doctor. And then it shows the toy maker, puppeteering
Pulling the
puppet.
strings.
He's like, here's my favorite puppet, and then it's a puppet of the Doctor. It was really creepy.
Yeesh.
And Donna ends up in this room with
Stooky Bill's wife, basically.
Yeah, Stooky. I don't remember.
Stooky Sue?
Stooky Sue. Thank you, Stooky Sue and the Stooky Babbies. The Babbies can't sleep.
That's Scottish.
Yeah.
Terminology.
And
by the way.
I gotta give credit to Donna. She holds her own, taking out those Babbies and Stooky Sue.
Yeah.
And eventually, the toy maker reveals himself and he says, "Donna, let me tell you what happens when the doctor was us leaving you." And he basically recaps everything we've seen up to this point. He talks about Amy Pond and how she was touched by this.
Pond?
Yeah, Amy Pond, and he loved Amy Pond. He be liking the redheads. And but
and
she
every
was
time
touched by a Cyberman. Cuts the strings, but she lived on in the past. Oh well, that's all right then. And then he mentions
every
Clara.
time the doctor brings up how that person didn't die the fate or as bad a fate as the toy maker is saying.
It's not as simple as death.
Yeah, his fucking German accent slips, and it's just Neil Patrick Harris yelling at the camera. Oh well, that's all right then.
Yeah, because he mentions Clara. Is by the way, this just shows you how complicated Clara's death was when it happened. Because even the toy maker looked confused when he said it. But she was killed by a bird, and then cuts her strings. But she still lives in her last second of life. Oh well, that's all right then. Then they met Bill, not Stooky Bill, but Lady Bill. But she was killed by the Cyberman. Cuts her strings. But her consciousness still lives on. Oh well, that's all right then. And then of course the toy maker brings up the flux and how it was destroying everything. Which by the way, no, that happened during Jodie's era. And the doctor's fed up and he's like, "I challenge you to a game." And I believe it was the highest card that was what they were playing.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a card game.
I love when Donna said he'll cheat, and then the toy maker's like, "No, shame."
No, shame.
And the doctor's like, "The toy maker's only bound by the rules of the game. They bind his entire existence." And so they turn over their cards, and the doctor actually loses. And the toy maker's like, "Now we will see what is my prize." And the doctor says, "Hold on. I won the game a long time ago. You won the game today. That makes us even. And you know that binds us to one unbreakable rule. Best of 3. And so the toy maker goes back to the present, and the doctor goes back there in the TARDIS, tries to warn Lethbridge Stewart and the unit, all of them, about it. And by the time they get there, the toy maker starts dancing to Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls.
That was literally the most Neil Patrick Harris moment in the entire freaking special.
Yeah, I feel like Neil Patrick Harris said, "I'll do the special if you let me do something crazy and musical."
Yeah, just let me do one scene where I get to be me and no strings attached, and I'll do the special. And that was his one scene.
Oh yeah.
And it was absolutely insane, and I loved it.
Oh yeah, and the doctor's trying to figure out how to take him out, and he's telling everybody this isn't something that's bound by logic. You can't just fight him. And they have this thing which is this giant beam, which they used it to knock out the satellite broadcasting the Giggle, but now he's manning it, and doctor's trying to appeal to his better nature, but he's not listening, and so he threatens to shoot the beam at the unit soldiers, at Kate, at Donna, at Mel. The doctor's like, "Your fight is with me, and you owe me one more game," and so he shoots the beam at the doctor, and he's like, I played the first game with the first doctor. I played the second game with this doctor. So your own rules have decreed that I play the next game with the next doctor. And so David starts glowing orange, and we all know it's coming. Donna and Mel join them side by side. And then
hang on. Could you pull?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
The regeneration stops for a second. He's like, "Can you pull?" And he both girls have him one arm, and they pull each way, and he splits off into 2 people. One's still David, but the other one is Shooty Gatwa.
Oh, and the second that man appeared, I was like, "Oh, I am going to love this man."
Oh yes, this Shooty Gatwa immediately took to the scene of playing the Doctor, because David's like, "You're me," and Shooty's like, "Oh, but I'm me. I'm completely me." He's like, "Don't you stand there, push. Does this work? I don't know."
I don't know, because it's never happened before.
And they split off into two people. They're two completely whole people, and one of them is like, one of the unit soldiers is like, "What just happened there?" And Shooty's like, "Bi-generation. I have bi-generated. There's no such thing. It's supposed to be a myth, but what do you think?" And so now there's two doctors. And I love Donna said, "Do you come in a wide range of colors?" Yeah. And so so they both challenge the toy maker to a game. The toy maker's actually like, "But that's cheating. How? You're the one that doubled us. You did this." And so he accepts the challenge, and the game they're playing is the ball, or, catch. And the only object of that game is if you drop it, you lose. So they're tossing it back and forth between the three of them. And there's actually a funny point where Shooty tosses it, and David leaps to catch it. He goes, "Hey, I'm on your side." Sorry.
sorry.
But they do eventually toss it to the toy maker, and he drops it, and it falls off the building. And so they seal him away forever. And he says something just before he leaves, which is curious. He says, "My legions are coming." Wonder what that means.
We don't know.
We'll
find out.
We'll find out. And also, something I completely forgot to mention, which he brings up, was that the master came to him begging for his life, and he sealed him away in a gold tooth, which he had in his mouth. Yeah. For those of you who are listening who watched Jody's last episode, you know what that means. But that tooth got left behind and was picked up by somebody who we didn't see. We only saw their hand, and they're wearing like red fingernail polish. Yeah. So we're like, who the hell was that?
Who the heck was that?
Well, we don't know. Not yet.
Nope.
So the doctors and Donna go back to the TARDIS, and David's like, "How's this going to work, you and me? I mean, we can't both be flying around in this thing." And Shooty and Donna basically tell him that he needs to stop, and he needs to... It's basically his time to let go now.
The reason why you came back with this phase is so you can get... you can finally rest. You can finally relax.
Yes, and that's why Donna is now allowed to remember him, is because now he can settle down with her. That's the first time a doctor's ever been able to really settle down with a companion. And he's like, "But I can't let the TARDIS go. It would hurt me too much." And Shooty's like, "Wait, what if?"
We won the game.
And yeah, he pulls out a sledgehammer. Yeah, he gets a prize.
You get a prize, honey, and here's mine.
And
he knocks the TARDIS, and it bi-generates.
Yeah, to another TARDIS.
I am so sorry.
And so David gets to keep his TARDIS, and Shooty's TARDIS not only does it have a wheelchair ramp, way to go, Shooty, but it also, inside, it looks pretty much the same. The only difference is there's a jukebox. I love that when David walks in, he's like, "Oh, jukebox."
Also, just David. Wait, was this? Can't remember what special was it in where he was running around the TARDIS and he was just absolutely joyful?
That was the
amazing.
First one. Oh. I'm pretty sure you already talked about that.
Well, it was still a nice scene.
It was a nice scene, yeah. And so Shooty gets in his TARDIS, and just before he leaves, he says goodbye to David and Donna.
"I love you. Bye."
And they get tapped. And I love that line that David had. Where he's like, "It's not often I get to see this kind of thing myself, like the TARDIS materializing away without him."
Yeah, that's true.
And Mel says, "Where's he going?" He goes, "Everywhere." And just right as it disappears, David says, "Good luck." And there's this nice little scene of him at the Noble house with the Noble family, and just like spending time with him.
And his favorite niece. Niece. I like that. That's what you are.
I also love, and I didn't figure this out until after I'd seen it, but like he's telling the story about like how he's communicating to this alien race with his eyebrows, like, "I mean you no harm." And I found out afterward that he's referencing a third Doctor story. Because I was putting together this little video tribute for the 60th anniversary, and I found a clip of that very encounter he's talking about.
Nice.
By complete happenstance. So basically, yeah, him and his TARDIS are staying put with the Nobles, and he gets to settle down and just have like a normal life. And I love that they ended it that way, because even he's like, "I've never been so happy in my life." Yeah, and now the Doctor that we're following is Ncuti Gatwa, and he's going off on his adventures.
Oh boy, and what a first adventure we got, but we'll get to that.
Oh indeed. I think this is a pretty good way to cap off the 60th anniversary, and I don't know for sure, but if I was a betting man, I'd say this is probably the last time we're going to see David as a doctor.
Probably, but at the same time, it was. If that's true, then it's a fine way to go.
Oh,
Okay,
definitely.
like
At least it didn't end on a depressing note.
yeah, as somebody who will swear up and down that David is the best doctor, I'm glad he got a happy ending.
Yeah.
Though it did, I was very hurt for like a split second when he was by jittering and he said Allons-y, and I thought, oh no, he's going out on Allons-y. Don't do this to me, man. Not again. Because I don't want to go hurt me so bad the first time.
Yeah. I thought for sure when he would regenerate this time, he'd say, like, an opposite of that, like, I'm ready, or something like that.
Allons-y would have been a good way to go out if that was the case.
Yeah.
Because Allons-y means let's go in French, so...
Yeah. But, he bi-generated. And, there's no confirmation of this, but we've heard this theory that David's doctor can go on to become the curator, which we saw on the 50th anniversary, who was played by Tom Baker, which means he'll revert back to that face as well. If that's true.
The first thing he says when he turns into that face, he looks in the mirror and goes, well, look at me, having a lovely yoo-hoo nanny. Titties.
I really hope whoever's listening has seen that so they get it.
It's an old Tom Baker line that I saw.
Yeah, I don't even think it was from Doctor Who. I think it was just him.
No, I don't. It was just Tom Baker being Tom Baker back in his youthful days.
Yeah. Which is fitting because him and, bizarrely enough, Peter Davidson was David's favorite doctors. Little did he know that one of them would become his father-in-law.
Yeah, that's true. It's a whole other story.
I really hope whoever's listening understands that. But yeah, this was a good one. And we'll see you next time for the Church on Ruby Road.
My favorite.